Am I the asshole for refusing to answer to a nickname I don't like? Throwaway account and fake names. I don't think I'm ta here, but one of my coworkers does, and we both follow this Reddit, so we're letting Reddit decide. I, 28F, was named after a really obscure character from Greek mythology. My preferred nickname is taken from the end of my name. I always introduce myself with, I'm, my name, but you can call me, nickname. None of my coworkers in the small business we work for have ever had a problem with this before, until Megan, 25F, the niece of Jeff, 50SM, one of the two owners, was hired. Jeff and Dave, 50SM, co-own the business, but Dave does the actual day-to-day running of the business. I introduced myself and my nickname as usual, but she immediately said that, Bessie, not the actual name, would be a better nickname because it comes from the beginning of my name and that she liked it better. I told her I really didn't like that nickname and wouldn't answer to it and asked her to please not call me Bessie, but she insisted that it was so much prettier and that I just needed to get used to it. For the next 2 months she tried to call me Bessie, but I completely ignored her whenever she addressed me that way, even when I knew she really needed help with something. She would call my desk phone and say, "Hey Bessie." I would reply, "You have the wrong number, there's no Bessie here," and hang up. She then tried to get some of the employees outside the office to start calling me Bessie, but I quickly shut that down. I usually finish my work early and help them with a lot of tedious little things that aren't part of my job description and threatened to stop helping them unless they used my preferred nickname. Friday she decided she was going to get me to respond to Bessie no matter what. We have an open office design but are at opposite ends. She started calling out Bessie in a sing-song voice over and over again to try and annoy me enough to respond. Other coworkers got annoyed, most telling her to stop and one Lisa, 43F, telling me to just let her call me Bessie already. I refused and she kept calling out Bessie louder and louder, until Dave barged in. He'd been on a conference call with an important client and could hear her yelling from his office down the hall. He told her to be quiet and that if she called me Bessie one more time, he'd write her up and dock her pay. Later, Megan cornered me in the break room, called me an asshole for getting her in trouble and called me Bessie again for good measure just as Dave was walking in to heat up his lunch. He gave her a stern look and said, "I warned you." Then he walked to HR to have her written up. Lisa is saying I'm the asshole for never helping Megan and that, if I had been nicer or hadn't fought her so hard on the nickname, she probably would have given up on it a while ago, but because I made such a big deal out of it, it became a challenge. So Reddit, am I the asshole? You're not the asshole. You established a boundary and her determination to break it is gonna keep getting her in trouble. Not the asshole. She's trying to bully you. She even tried to get others to join in. She deserves getting written up. Good job standing up for yourself. Not the asshole. Holy shit. What a bizarre hill to die on. You did everything right, politely telling her not to call you that. She brought her punishment on herself. Lisa thinks you should just give in and let the bully win? How kind of her to side with a bully. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You said she's 25, but I think she's probably closer to 5. Not the asshole. Fuck this. You didn't get her in trouble, her mouth did. And for the record, this can be considered workplace harassment and she could be fired over it. Not the asshole. This is low-level victim blaming on Lisa's part. You instigated none of this. My sister has a very obscure Greek name as well and has enjoyed the misspellings, mispronunciations, and the "I'm just going to call you X" too. The way she ended up handling it when someone would decide to call her Mylanta instead of Atalanta, not her actual name either, she would say, "If you want to give someone a stupid name, have kids. That's what my parents did." Not the asshole. I love your solution, and it worked as intended. Megan is a bully who actually got caught and held accountable. She thought being a relative would protect her. Good for the company for treating her like anyone else. The other coworker who confronted you either is friends with Megan or doesn't like conflict. Don't worry, you did good. Am I the asshole for making my coworkers think I'm married? Hello. I, 32F, have been working at a law firm for 6 years. My high school sweetheart, Jay, died at 24. Before he died he had proposed. I said yes. I was so struck with grief that I could never bring myself to take off the ring he gave me. Around 2 years ago I finally moved on and chose to adopt a girl, L. Everyone at the firm assumes I'm married due to the ring and kid. One of my coworkers, C, apparently had a crush on me. I invited a group of friends from work over for my birthday and they all asked about my husband. I told them how he had passed and it was just me and my daughter. They were all a bit shocked but didn't say more, except for C. He lost it and said, "So you've just been lying to us? For all these years? I can't believe you," and stormed out. He didn't show up to work for a day, and when he returned he didn't even look me in the eye. A few co-workers asked me to apologize, but I just don't think I need to. I'm just wondering if I'm the asshole. What on earth do you need to apologize for? They made assumptions, but even if you had told them, why does C think that gives him a right to you, or that he would be in with a chance regardless? He behaved like a child, and I don't see why you should indulge his childishness in any way. Not the asshole. I'm sorry, what? You didn't do anything though? You say in the post that everyone assumed you were married. Unless you actually said the words, "I'm married," you have nothing to apologize for. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, and you should stay clear of the guy that freaked out. He doesn't have a right to know your personal life, and his reaction is a little scary. Not the asshole. They aren't entitled to your personal information, and they chose to make assumptions. Just because your coworker has feelings for you does not mean he deserves to know if you're single or not. They're being unprofessional, and if it continues, take it to our. It's not their place to have an opinion. Let me get this straight. You need to apologize because your coworkers assume things about your personal life? Absolutely not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your personal life is just that, personal. It's none of C's or anyone else's business if you're single or married. What are you meant to say? I'm sorry, I didn't divulge my deeply personal relationship status. I'll be sure to do so in the future. JFC, you all work at a law firm and C's stomping round like a child? And the others want you to apologize? Even if you had have told them, doesn't mean C had any chance of a relationship outside of work anyway. Not the asshole. Other people's assumptions are not your problem. I'm sorry this happened to you and that your coworker is a dong. Info. Just to clarify, nobody asked if you were married, they just made the assumption? Am I the asshole for not waking my boyfriend, which made him late to his first day at a new job? This is a throwaway account for purposes of privacy. I, 28F, have lived with my BF, 30M, for 3 years now. When I first stayed the night and he overslept, I woke him up. He woke up in a bad mood and after a big fight made it absolutely clear that I should not wake him up even if I knew he would be late to meeting the Pope, his words. After I calmed down, I wrote a contract that said I would never wake him up under any circumstance short of an emergency as long as he never blames me for oversleeping. He laughed and signed it. I kept it with my important documents. Daughter of 2 lawyers. Get everything in writing and don't sign anything unless you and your lawyer read it, are rules I live by. Fast forward to yesterday, he just started a new job, celebrated the night before playing with some guys online. He had to wake up by 7 a.m. I woke up at 5 a.m. like usual, did all my stuff. By the time it was 7 a.m. he didn't wake up. I left the house at 8:15 a.m. and he was still asleep. When I got back he was there and he was very angry. He started shouting and blamed me for being late, said I should have woken him when I noticed he overslept. All I did was stay silent until he stopped shouting, then showed him the paper he signed. And then I said, I never woke you up and I never will. You are an adult and you can set an alarm like the rest of us. Also, you being late is a you problem and I have no part in it at all. Now he says that I am an asshole and I should know that the old rules do not apply since he no longer works for his friend that was lax with time. I still think I did nothing wrong. So am I the asshole? Not the asshole. It also sounds like you're in a bad relationship. Not the asshole. This is the second post I've commented on today regarding grown-ass man being responsible for getting their asses out of bed. Not the asshole. He is an adult and if the job really mattered to him then he would make sure he was on time. He's an asshole for thinking you're his mom and making sure he wakes up on time. Victory hand, medium skin tone. Not the asshole. You're his girlfriend, not his mother. Not the asshole. It's not your problem if he can't wake up on time. Not the asshole. He never renegotiated voiding the agreement. Not the asshole. He previously made it clear he never wants to be woken up by you. He never asked you to wake him up in case he overslept. His own fault. However, this does not seem like a healthy relationship you have there. You might want to reevaluate if you really want to be with someone who treats you this way. Everyone sucks here. He should have set an alarm for himself and he shouldn't have yelled at you like that. Now, if I'm reading this right, you had him sign the form over 3 years ago. There's a decent chance he forgot about it. Shit. It sounds like he might not have realized how serious you were about the form. You could have been nice and woken him up instead of being anal about an OKD form that isn't legally binding in the first place. Are you Sheldon Cooper? Am I the asshole for repeating what my boyfriend said to me? I, 24 female, have been dating my boyfriend, 25 male, for about 6 months now. For the past few days he has been making comment about my breast size. Now I'm aware that I have small boobs. I have never really cared much until his comments. Well, it's also worth mentioning that my boyfriend isn't the biggest guy out there, about 4 inches. Well, last night he started up again and said, "You know they have surgery for that," and motioned towards my chest. I don't know why I did it, but I repeated, "You know they have surgery for that," and motioned towards his waist area. Now he's not speaking to me. So AITA? Edit. Just logged back onto Reddit and oh my god. Was not expecting this lol. Thank you to all the award givers and for all the advice. We're going to lunch tomorrow and I'm going to most likely break up with him unless he can give a very valid explanation for his behavior and a sincere apology. Him not speaking to you sounds like a win, frankly. See if you can keep it that way. And #X200B. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. He can dish it out but can't take it. He is disrespecting you. Dump him. You can do so much better, and it wouldn't take much. OMG. I gasped out loud and then just had a giggle fit. HAHAHAHAHA. Not the asshole and well done. No surgery is fixing that tiny wiener or that bruised ego, get rid of him. Not the asshole, and your boyfriend sounds like he needs to be your ex-boyfriend. If he wants a girlfriend with bigger boobs, he can buy a real doll and STFU. Not the asshole. If he wanted a girlfriend with a large bust he should have dated a woman with that. Now that the magic is wearing off, ask yourself if he's really worth it, because I'll bet this sudden commentary about your chest isn't the only red flag currently raised. You're 24, there are in fact better men out there. Not the asshole. I mean, sure, what you said was mean, but homie clearly was the asshole since he makes these comments all the time. Do you like dating someone who insults your breast size and wants you to get surgery for his benefit, and who is so insecure that he can't take the same type of rude criticism? Not the asshole. As the older people say, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Don't dish it out if you can't take it being served back to you.